Hi, everybody. Hi. Okay, so we had orientation, and that was quite an experience. It started at 8 in the morning for check-in, and then I'm glad that they afforded us the opportunity to meet people in different departments, so we learned stuff about the resources available on campus. And then we met on my Instagram page, Rising Anesthesia Assistant. You'll see I went when I first got here. My mom and I did a couple dry runs to the school so that I know how to get there and things I would be familiar. So anyway, I posted these pictures of the classroom, and I was talking about how it gives me this total Viola Davis How to Get Away with Murder vibes. It's so cool. But in orientation, I had the opportunity to sit in that auditorium. It's not a classroom. It's an auditorium with so many different disciplines. So there were lots of people there from different programs like physical therapy, the physician's assistant students were there, anesthesiologist assistant students were there, and quite a few others. So, well, not that many, but there were hundreds of us in the auditorium. And I have to say, first and foremost, that was uncomfortable in the sense that we're in a red state, and people just do not, you have to be forced here to recognize coronavirus as a real thing. So I think I looked around and I saw maybe one other student wearing a mask besides myself. But it is what it is. You know, I'm going to have mine on because I don't have an S on my chest at all. And I'm older. And I have underlying conditions. I have diabetes and some other things. And so it's just what I choose to do. Although I'm vaccinated, I'm still doing it. So anyway, I also got the opportunity to meet with my classmates. Okay, so, you know, we've only met on Discord, really. Well, I've only met people on Discord. And I'm thinking, these people are so brilliant. And they freaking are. I mean, when you look at faces and you see how bright and beautiful, by the way, I have like this gorgeous class. Like everybody looks like models, the men and the women. I had to take my glasses off and look around like maybe something was going on with my glasses. Anyway, and they're just as smart as they are beautiful. Seriously, I love it. Friendly, helpful. We have an anesthesiologist in my class. He was an anesthesiologist in his country. So that was brilliant. All right, so I talked to you all about this big book that we had to do, and I turned in my book. And it was different from everyone else's. It was thicker. I printed. I'm so extra. I'm extra. It's so. I printed on cardstock. I printed on cardstock, y'all. And I added a notes section and a table of contents. And then I did a color chart so that we would know, a person reading the book would know where the antiemetic drugs are, because the portfolio was done in alphabetical order. All the drugs were put in alphabetical order instead of grouped into their categories. So I want you to know what categories, the drugs were. So I made a color chart, and I put tabs on the book. Like all the antiemetics were red, the induction agents were yellow, pain medications were blue, like that. And so you could go right to them. I'm hoping I get a good grade on it. I just don't know because it looks different from everybody else's. Well, from most of the people. There were some people who used a spiral binder, and others used a 3-ring binder. So, but what I did notice is the age difference. So the younger people, they went straight to the point and gave the information that was asked for. But the old lady gang gave the information and a whole lot of fluff. But I graduated in 2004 the last time, and we did fluff back then. You found the best paper. You tried to add what you could to make it extremely easy, but what was extremely easy in 2004 may not necessarily be what's extremely easy in 2022. I'm sure it's not. So it's just me and my mom, who's 70. So the old lady gang. All right. So anyway, this is what I'm wearing. Of course, I was dressed differently from everyone else. This is what we did in my time. This is what we see as professional business attire. Everybody else, they had on the nice shoes and the pants and blazers, the gray and black and white and stuff like that. But hey, let me say this. I did see some people who were inappropriately dressed. Big ups to anesthesiologist assistants. Everybody was on point. Everybody was on point. I like that. I don't know what it means, but it was nice. Anyway, we met a few of the second year students. They liked my book. Well, I don't know if they liked it, but they really wanted to see it because it was colorful. The instructors, Professor LeClaire was there. He is the director of the program. Heck of a man. I have to say that, just in doing some small research and listening to other people talk, he really deserved his position and he serves it well. So I think I want to talk about this because it's important to me. In orientation, I was already told about how, and I'm saying this to you all because you need to know it, how sensitive folk are about their titles. So when I first started my journey, I didn't know a whole lot. I was still learning about things. So I got things wrong all the time. And if you will look back at some of my videos, you'll see that I use the term anesthesia assistant. So it was my journey to becoming an anesthesia assistant. And as I grew, as I studied, as I learned, I came to understand that the position is anesthesiologist assistant, and it's not interchangeable for anything else. So that came up yesterday in orientation, and they let us know how they really do not like to see anesthesia assistant. And I remember when I was thinking about changing it maybe about 3 months ago, and then I thought on YouTube, no, this is a part of my journey. So people can see that and they'll see where I changed it. She's growing. She learned something, and for my Instagram page, I couldn't change it there when I tried to because there wasn't enough space left for the letters in the title. So I couldn't change it to anesthesiologist. But you'll see that my goal in my bio reads that my goal is to get to anesthesia Kobe. So when I change it, I'll be changing it to anesthesia Kobe. However, in my bio, it also reads anesthesiologist assistant. So I don't want you all thinking I'm crazy out there, dumb, don't know the title. And I want to apologize for anyone, all my classmates. At some point, we're going to become sensitive too. And I want to apologize to you up front for the moment that you become sensitive to what I have there, and hope that it doesn't deter you from being graceful and being decent to me when I need help, because I know I'm going to need help. But don't judge me. Please don't judge me by what I put in my social media. Please don't. Me saying anesthesia assistant is not to offend anyone at all. My not correcting it on old material is not to offend anyone at all. It's to show my growth. And I'm not ashamed of it. So that being said, I am now studying for my medical terminology exam, which is next week, and my medication sheet. Yeah, so that's on my Instagram page as well. Both of those, the medical terminology resource and the medication sheet resource. Get on it. Start it, Also, I want to talk about studying ahead. I hadn't thought about that at all. And I was watching someone's page on on YouTube. And she's a nursing student. And she talked about studying your material ahead of time so that when you get into class, everything is just a review. When the instructor is talking, you're already familiar with the material, so you're free to take notes. And I learned Notable, so Notable will actually be recording the lecture, but I'm free to take notes because I've already viewed the material. I've never done that before. Like, that's the material prior to has never been presented to me before. When I was in school, they just didn't do it that way in 2004. But that's how they do it now. So one of the instructors has already listed videos for us to watch ahead of time. So I'm watching my videos. Class isn't until later next week, but I'm watching videos now. And I'll watch them again. And I'm taking notes. And I'll probably take more notes. And I'll look at the notes that I have and take notes from those notes. I'll rewrite them is what I'll do without looking. Because these things help you to put the material in. I appreciate not being given a whole lot of stuff at one time. Because in actuality, when you overload a person, there's no long-term retention there. Like, we'll learn it for the test. Right? Remember, I was telling you all that I was thinking of just learning the sheet itself. And I was talking to one of the bigs, and she said that she learned it for the test because it was a lot. But you don't retain it. She didn't retain it, but she learned it along the way. So I try to minimize that by getting on top of things ahead of time. I know that this school has to give us a whole lot of material. We basically have to learn what anesthesiologists know as best we can in 27 months. And they take about, 6 or 7 years? And so they have to give it to us in a short period of time. So it's up to us to manage how we digest the material. So I start early so that I can digest in small bits instead of huge chunks. Because after the test is over, I don't want my mind to do this big dump. Because I don't want to have to go back later on like, dang it, I remember that. I don't remember that. But I know they gave it to us. So they have to give it to us in big chunks. I give it to me in small doses so that it'll stay. Yeah, that works. At any rate, it was successful yesterday. And let me tell y'all, so there's this one guy. Oh, wait, look. I got my shark pen. I'm in my shark blue. So I'm a good people reader, right? I'm a people watcher is what I do. And there's this one guy in my class. His name is Ernesto. And I've been talking to him, online on Discord. And I know that this guy is such a doctor. I'm like serious about this. I haven't really gotten to know a lot of other classmates as well. But when I saw him in person, Ernesto, you are a doctor. Completely. And I really hope you go far. I think what I want to do with my channel is sometimes have my classmates, if they're willing, to come and talk as well. We learned about group studying, and I've never done that. I've always studied on my own. you know. So I'm interested in trying that, like really, and I'm really interested in studying with Ernesto and the anesthesiologist and this guy named Jason and then this girl named Victoria. Oh, anyway, there's so many. I'm excited. I'm so excited. I'm excited. I want to name all the names. I have a classmate who carries the nicest handbags. I'm not going to say her name because I don't know if she wants people to know that I know it's her handbags. And she seems so smart too, but she carries handbags, and I'm a handbag chick. Yeah, like I drive a bum car because I can't afford to do a car and a handbag. Anyway, I gotta say thanks again to Professor LeClaire for believing enough in me to give me this opportunity. It was most gracious of you. Thank you. Thank you to everybody else who's jumping on this path and creating content for people like me, like you, to view and help decide, you know, if this is the field for them. Everywhere I go, I try to tell people about this field because I want to grow the anesthesiologist assistant field. It needs to be as big as the CRNA field is, and perhaps larger, you know, because just because. All right. I'll see you in these group sessions at some point. You know, maybe I'll do some videos from there and things like that. If my classmates are okay with it. Okay. Bye.